Today I'm going to show you some more. I also like to thank Sammy, Sammy Schenker, his daughter, who graduated a year. She was in the class before us. She was smart enough not to study architecture, which I think she graduated at the same time we did. So anyhow, this is some more pictures of the Krieger residence. You know, sort of writing, but yet you know where every bit of structure is and what it's doing. This is the front entrance, and this is a picture looking back from the interior. A dining area, and I know with the Kriegers, every time they want to make a little bitty change throughout the entire life of the house, Bob was given the tab. This is a window wall off a private rear courtyard. This is another house he did on Lake Shore, a little bit more conservative, but once again, the structure is quite evident. This is my favorite picture of a lot. Bob's here, he's 16. This is his son, his brother's son, Sydney, and look at what he's drawing on the blackboard. This is Bob's first house done in Houston in the early 50s. This is a rendering of the grain elevator that he did for this company called H.K. Ferguson, and they were an industrial design firm, and he was with them after he left Corpus Christi in the late 40s. But he was with them for a couple of years. This is a flex space building, some office and some storage, and you can see that he's doing a little bit with these sloped walls and all that, trying to get away with something on this mundane project. These are the guys that he worked with at HK. There's Bob. This is a rendering for a building that he did for the Kriegers on South Rampart. I don't think this one was built, but once again, you can see that the major theme is the expression of the structure. This is a proposed office building that he did in the 60s, and he did the exploded beam and column thing that we did a lot in school. And I think Marcel, the bank that you did that first semester, had the exploded structure, I think. Here's Bob, 26, in front of the project sign for that house that I showed you. And this is Estelle, his wife. I love these 50s photographs. This is his thesis from Columbia in 1947. Sort of a righty floor plan, well drafted. And for whatever reason, it was done in Corpus Christi. So obviously that had something to do with your dad's relationship and him from college. He went back to New York after school and worked for one gentleman for 4 months, and then he worked for his brother for 4 months. Obviously that didn't work out, and then he went to Corpus Christi, and he eventually ended up here in New Orleans.
You know why he ended up here?
No.
He had tuberculosis, and the closest tubercular clinic was the Oxford Clinic here in New Orleans, and so that's what brought him to New Orleans. And the way I understand it and remember it was that he obviously was new in the community, didn't have any work, but the dean of the School of Architecture here at Tulane was John Lawrence. And John Lawrence was a classmate, an upper classmate of my father's, the Schenkers at Columbia, and so he had a connection.
Cool.
Through the dean and was given a teaching opportunity. So.
Neat. More of the floor plans. Now the elevations I found really interesting. As this folded plate thing going on. And once again, if you re-detailed this, I think it would stand up today. In fact, it sort of looks a little bit Zaha-esque, if you ask me. This is an addition to Touro Synagogue. I apologize for the photograph that came off of Google Maps. And photoshopped. Anyhow, This is the synagogue, and he did this educational building over here, and if you drive downtown from here, you can...
That's actually a chapel.
Chapel?
That's not his. The educational building was behind it.
Ah, okay.
Oh, it's
Thanks,
much
Mark.
more recent.
That's a Lions and Hudson chapel,
Ah, okay.
right?
Yeah, sorry. Got that wrong. See, I should have called you up. I did. I contacted you. You held that on. This I found out, set me up. Anyhow, this I found interesting because the structural system, he has these structural T's that are holding up this corrugated metal deck roof that he has insulation. Insulation, and he has this soldered copper skin. But it's a lot of detail for a thesis drawing. I don't think we ever got into that kind of detail when I was in school. This is a request for a Christmas present to Sammy, not to spend more than $10 from 1986. And this is Samantha, and she asked me to read you guys something today. As a side note, though, before I get to that, there's this Southeastern Architectural Archive that's going to have an exhibit opening up later this month that will include some of Robert Schenker's drawings from Shed's Tower Lounge. They used to be on Canal Street, and it's no longer there. I confirmed that once again with Google Maps. Anyhow, Sammy asked me to read you guys this. To all of you who knew me, I send my love and thanks and hellos after all these years, for remembering my father and carrying his teachings, wisdom, and talent into your lives. You've given him a sort of professional immortality because he exists in all of you, as well as me. Hundreds of you over 36 years, quite a legacy. In that, he made a difference and left his mark far beyond architecture. And to you who are new to Tulane, thank you for acknowledging him. In your lives, let one special teacher set you on a path for all these days to come as architects. Thanks, Bob, from the class of '73, and now I would like my broomstick back. It's showtime.